You know that person, right? The one who seems to be a completely different person depending on who they're with. One minute, they're the life of the party. The next, they're a quiet observer. We call them social chameleons. But is there more to it than meets the eye? Let's dig in. So let's paint a picture of this social shifter. Think about that coworker who's all business, super professional in the office, but then at happy hour, they're a totally different person. Or maybe it's that friend who's a huge bookworm with you, but a die-hard sports fanatic with their other buddies. They are absolute masters of adapting to their social environment. And this brings us right to the heart of the matter. It's the big question we're tackling today. When we see this behavior, is it a sign that someone's being shallow, maybe inauthentic, or could it actually be a sign of a really highly tuned social intelligence at work?
I mean, just think about it for a second. You're probably picturing someone you know right now. That person who talks about completely different things, maybe even uses a different tone of voice when they're with their family versus when they're with you. It's a super common experience, and it's exactly what we're going to explore.
Okay, so it turns out this isn't just some random personality quirk. Psychology actually has a formal name for this trait. And no, it's not social chameleonism. It's called high self-monitoring. So let's break down what that actually means. The crucial phrase here is social wiring. This isn't really a conscious choice to be fake or anything like that. It's a deeply ingrained tendency to read the room, to pick up on all those external social signals and then adjust to them. It's all about prioritizing the harmony of the group, putting the community first, even if it means their own internal feelings kind of have to take a back seat. This right here really lays out the difference perfectly. A high self-monitor is guided by what's going on around them. They're constantly asking, almost subconsciously, what does this situation want from me? But a low self-monitor, they're guided by their internal compass, their feelings, their values. They're asking, how do I feel right now? And look, one isn't better than the other. Low self-monitors often have this incredibly strong, authentic sense of self. High self-monitors, on the other hand, are wizards at creating social harmony. They're just two totally different ways of navigating the social world. So, if these are two different social operating systems, where did the hardware come from? I mean, why would evolution ever favor a brain that's constantly scanning the room for cues? Well, to answer that, we have to go way, way back. Further back than modern society, further back than even cities. Yep, the answer isn't hidden in our conference rooms or our social media feeds, even though that's where we see this behavior play out all the time today. The origin story is much, much more fundamental.
That's right. The source for this trait is buried deep inside our evolutionary history, back to a time when humans lived in these small, incredibly tight-knit groups.
And this brings us to a really cool concept, the number 150. It's known as Dunbar's number, and it's basically the cognitive limit to how many people we can have stable social relationships with. For early humans living in tribes of about this size, everyone knew everyone. Social harmony wasn't just a nice-to-have, it was absolutely essential for survival.
And this just perfectly illustrates why being a high self-monitor was a huge advantage back then. In a tribe of 150, your survival literally depended on group cohesion. Being able to adapt meant smoother cooperation on things like hunts. It ensured you belonged and weren't cast out. And it prioritized those shared experiences that were just vital for bonding the group together. Honestly, it was a survival mechanism.
Okay, so let's bring it all together. Now that we have this whole evolutionary perspective, let's go back to our original question. That person who changes from group to group, are they being shallow or are they just highly tuned? After looking at our ancient wiring and understanding this deep-seated, primal need for group harmony, what conclusion can we really draw? And here it is. This is the big takeaway. This behavior, it's not really about being fake or lacking a core self. It is about being wired for the group. Now, don't get me wrong, this wiring can sometimes lead to burnout or feeling a little disconnected from your true self. But at its core, it's an ancient adaptive trait that prioritizes community over a rigid sense of individualism. It's really less about shallowness and much more about a highly tuned social instinct. So, that leaves us with one final thought. Thinking about this spectrum, from the group-focused high self-monitor to the internally guided low self-monitor, where do you think you fall? And maybe more importantly, what are the strengths and, heck, even the challenges of your own social style? How has it helped you connect and find your place in the world?